Hello. How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh. Whew. So here we are. Once again. Welcome to the Jerry Speak Studio. As we do another Out the Box. And today's title is Stop Snatching My Chair. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today. So let's just jump right into it. I come before you as a vision of what is possible. I was a little black girl raised in a one-stoplight town in Lawrenceville, Virginia. Growing up, I had two pairs of shoes. One pair was for Sunday, and the other pair they called everyday shoes. Hey, Tamika, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try not to comment so much. Thank you so much. So I had two pairs of shoes. And one was called Sunday shoes, and the other one was called everyday shoes. But in the country, you went barefoot most of the time. So I did not get another pair of shoes until one pair wore out. But when I moved to Charleston, South Carolina, 10 years ago, oh my gosh, this little black girl, something happened that she had never dreamed or envisioned. This little black girl became debt-free in less than a year. So I'm telling you, stop snatching my chair. You just need to stop snatching my chair. So let's look back a little bit. I barely had a childhood, and I lost my identity in 3 marriages. I didn't say 1. I didn't say 2. No, 3 marriages, I lost my identity. Growing up at my mom's house, there was a party every weekend. My mom sold beer, she sold wine, she sold liquor, she sold cigarettes, and she knew what kind you smoked. And she sold chicken sandwiches. So there was always a party going on the weekend. And then the people would stop by during the week, and they'd get their little shot, and they'd run a tab, and they'd come back on Friday, and they'd pay that tab, and they'd start all over again. Well, I got married the first time at age 16 because I wanted to leave home. I wanted to leave my environment. And I had met this 21-year-old guy, and I had seen, what his family was like, and their living arrangements and everything. But who gets married at age 16? I did. Did my husband have a new place or some place for us to live? No, he did not. He moved me into his aunt's house where he was living. Okay, we did eventually get our own place, and 11 months later, I had my first beautiful daughter. And we separated, my husband and I separated when she was 4 months old. But that's all right. How did I get my chair back? How did I get back to the table? I am so glad you asked, because that's what I'm here to tell you about. Well, I went back to high school at age 20, and I continued on to get a 4-year degree from college. And I got married the second time at age 32. This was a little different. I had a really nice job. I owned my own home. I had a nice car that I had just bought. And I had my second daughter, who was 6 months old. The only thing missing, as far as I was concerned, is a husband, because I love being married. Well, in this case, we both worked for the same agency. I was a secretary, and he worked in maintenance. I saw him every day because my mom was his mom was my babysitter. So I not only saw him when I picked up the child, but I also saw him at the job. So we saw each other every day. We dated for 3 months, and then we got married. That marriage lasted a good 6 months. Well, it would be 10 years before I got the urge to get married again. But you know I did, because like I said, I love being married. I love being married even though I'm not married right now. But the third time I got married, I was age 45. Now, he was different than the others. He was college educated. He was a smooth talker. He was a DJ at a radio station. And when I first met him, he was interviewing me on the radio as a business owner. I was a business owner. I owned my own cleaning company. So I thought this was so sweet, and I was so special, and I felt so important being interviewed on the radio. But this is where it kind of looks a little weird. He was sucking a lollipop the whole time we were having the interview on the radio. And for some odd reason, I thought that was cute. Don't ask me why. Just don't ask me why. Well, anyway, that marriage lasted 1 year. But the strange thing is, we lived together for 3 years before we got married. So I'm still baffled as to why it didn't work out. Well, it wasn't until we was married that I realized the only time he didn't drink was when we was in church. That's the only time he didn't drink. That's a lot. And I recall a conversation with my 9-year-old daughter at the time. And when she asked me this question, she said, "Mom, why do you always say we don't have no money? But Paul always have beer." Now that will snatch the chair from under you. Paul always had beer because I made sure that he had beer, because that was what made him happy. The name has been changed to protect the innocent. Well, after 3 failed marriages, I decided to take some inventory and to look at my patterns. Because you know what they say, if you are the, I can't find the word. If you are the, I can't even find it, but anyway, it'll come to me in a minute. I started to look at my patterns, and I realized that all of my husbands were low-income earners. And sometimes, if you are the common denominator, I knew it'll come to me. All of my husbands were low-income earners, and sometimes no income. When I got married at age 16, I was working. He wasn't even working. So that shows you my mentality back then. But let me tell you something. Along the way, I have learned that even though I like being married, I do not need a man to complete me. Hey, TT, thank you so much for watching. I don't need a man. I'm a whole person all by myself. I decide when to go to bed, and I decide when to wake up. I decide whether to cook or not to cook. And if I don't feel like cooking, then I take myself out to eat. I pay my own bills. I don't chase money. Money chases me. Literally, money is chasing me right now. I wish I could tell y'all all the stories, but I can't. But you'll see it as time goes on. I decide how I will be treated by men and women. I decide who comes into my sacred space, because energy is contagious, whether it's good or bad. Thanks, Chantel. Yes, I am whole all by myself. Anybody that comes in is just adding to what I already am. They are just a compliment to me. They don't complete me. Yes. But energy is contagious, and we have to remember that. I could have lost my life. talking about snatching a chair from under you when you are diagnosed with breast cancer at age 30 and there is no family history of breast cancer. You're the only one. My first thought is, I am going to die. But no, there's something about thinking that you are going to die that makes you want to live. I remember thinking, God, just give me 5 years. And I kept waiting and waiting, looking forward to dying. And then all of a sudden, my mentality changed. And I started looking forward to living. Because God said, Jerry, you ain't going nowhere right now. And that's why I'm 34 years breast cancer free today. Not only did he give me my chair back, but he gave me a seat at the table. And a lot of times, it was a table that was prepared before me in the presence of my enemies. Yes, he did that because what I have to say matters, because my story matters, and what you have to say matters as well. So don't you give up. Don't you give in, and don't you never ever give out, because God has a seat at the table for you too. And I'm here as a living witness that he will fix it for you. And we need to continue to press on to a higher calling, because I'm going to tell you, higher is calling everybody right now. I don't care who you are. If you're living in this world, higher is calling you. And we need to answer. Thanks for watching, Elizabeth. There is no way that I could have become the person that I am today without being diagnosed with breast cancer. Because breast cancer is my why. It is why I speak. Because I started sharing my story and God opened so many doors and so many opportunities for me to speak. And that's how Jerry Speak became the business that it is. Because I used a situation that could have taken me out. And I changed my mentality. And I promised God that I would do whatever he asked me to do if he keep waking me up every day. And he has done that for 34 years. I turned that situation around and I made it an opportunity to use cancer as my vehicle and my vessel to reach people. So yes, cancer snatched my chair. But God gave me a seat at the table. I gotta have a little taste of my juice here. As we all navigate this new normal, and when I said this 2 years ago, who knew we were going to have a real new normal? But God is always working behind the scene, and he always have me 2 to 3 steps ahead of the world, and I love him for that. So I am sure with COVID-19 that the chair was snatched from under so many people. But you know what? God has not changed. He is still doing miracles. I promise you. For me, when COVID-19 hit, that meant losing my job as a hostess at a restaurant. Because everybody started doing takeout. If they didn't already have a drive-thru, I guess some of them probably built one. But most people already had a drive-thru. And that's how restaurants did business. Takeout, drive-thru. But I praise God because I'm retired. I was able to stay afloat. A couple of part-time jobs fell in my lap and stuff just keep coming. God just keep blessing me. But what I did, I took what I knew, which is Jerry Speak, and I channeled that into Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Instagram. I took social media and I turned it around and used it as a platform to speak to people. Because God said that I would write, travel, speak, repeat. He didn't say how I was going to do it. When you ask God to do something, don't tell him how to do it. Just listen. Hear his voice. Listen to people around you. He will send the right people to help you, to direct you, and you will be blessed. He will show you how to pivot and change what you have already and make it work for the current situation. And I'm a living witness that that will happen. So much more is coming. So much more is coming. I'm on fire. I can't wait to release more stuff next month, because I can't do it as fast as he give it to me. And I need to prepare, because anybody who knows me, you know I'm organized, extremely organized. And I prepare for what God asks me to do. I don't just show up haphazardly. And thanks to God, because I am speaking in the Jerry Speak studio that I just named this morning, I am reaching more lives than I would have reached had I been at an event. Because this goes all over. People may not, I may have 10 people showing up today, but this will be out there for a moment, for a long time. People will be listening to this message after I'm gone. It will be there. Time is for us. For God is infinite. There is no time. Lord have mercy. During this whole pandemic, I have lacked nothing. And I give God the honor and the glory. Because I'm going to tell you what, a matter of fact, I've had more than I have ever had in my life. I remember having a refrigerator that probably had hot dogs, a pitcher of water, maybe some juice and some milk. But now my freezer is full, my refrigerator is full, my pantry is full, canned food, spaghetti sauce, you name it. Everything is full. Paper products. I had to stop buying toilet tissue because I was like, Jerry, I think you done got into greed now. I think you got enough in your closet. Wow. Woo. The only thing that has changed for me is the human contact. I mean, I have a few friends that I connect with on a regular basis, but I try to keep my circle small because I'm a senior. I'm one of the higher risk population, and so I try to keep my circle very small. But I'm still doing everything else that I was doing, except showing up at an event. I'm still getting sponsors. People are sponsoring what I'm doing right now. God is so good. He has people whispering in my ear and telling me what the next move should be. And I am listening. To God be the glory, as we all wait to see what's going to happen on the other side of this. So I say to you, stop allowing people and circumstances to snatch your chair. I may have lost my teenage years, but I have taken control of my life in my latter years. Yes. And not only did I get my chair back, but now I am feasting at the table that God and I made. I may have lost my identity in 3 marriages by being what someone else asked me to be, rather than being there for myself. But today, all of my needs are met by my Heavenly Father, and I don't beg for nothing. Although I could have lost my life when I was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 30, that story has opened doors that no man can close. Oh yes, it has. And lastly, it's true that COVID-19 has changed the way that we all look at life. But like I said, God has not changed. He is still doing miracles every day. We may not see it in our immediate circle of influence, but that does not mean that it's not happening. So in closing, I say to you, I have shed more tears than I care to remember. And I have definitely paid a price for my joy. Many times, this created situations and circumstances where I had to reframe my picture of what life should look like in order to turn my negatives into positives. During the process, I have realized that there really are no rules, and I need to stand in my truth when all my plans have failed. Now try doing that and remain sexy, celibate, and sane in this sex-crazed world while walking in your season of receiving and experiencing beauty after breast cancer. That little paragraph sums up all 6 of my books, because my books are all written based on my true life stories and how God has used me. So you see, this little black girl that used to have 2 pair of shoes can now go in the closet and pick out the pair that matches her outfit. Oh yes, I got my heels on up under this desk. Oh yes, I do. Because I feel good when I look good. So yes, this little black girl now has a seat at tables where she did not realize people would even know her name. Yes, this little black girl is retired, and part-time jobs just fall into her lap so that she can make ends meet as she continued to pursue her passion for writing and speaking. You should always be looking to set your own table, to create your own feast, and invite your own guest. You might as well stop snatching my chair, because God will always have a seat at the table for me. I pray that this message has resonated in your spirit and your soul, and it will propel you to live your life more on purpose as you move towards your destiny. Because God has a seat at the table for you too, and nobody should be able to snatch your chair. Please go to my website, jerryspeak.com, for more positive information. And also, if you wish to connect with me on a deeper level. As always, I thank you for watching. And inside the tagline, I indicated, if this has ministered to your soul and you feel the desire to donate, we appreciate whatever you give. I will put the link in the comments, but it's also in the tagline. Once again, thank you for watching, and may you be blessed and prosperous, and all your chairs be seated at a table where God can use you to the best of your ability. Bye now. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you on my next video.